Take two. Yeah.
My short film will be called Marauder. It's going to follow three genres: action, adventure and sci-fi. Action, as it's going to help my obstacle towards the end of the short film. Adventure, just because of the areas you have to work with, so top of Hator, like the open sort of grass bit, and the woodland area, so it sort of helps to always get some progression within the film. And sci-fi is it's set sort of roughly in a not so distant future where most of mankind has actually been wiped out by this infection. It wiped most of mankind out so quickly that no one knew how it spread, what caused it, a lot of the sort of stuff you would kind of need to know about it. The main character, he's an anti-hero. It's roughly what he's going to look like, just a sketch I did. A lot of what about him is unknown, as he was just sort of brought up in this area, and he was never really raised properly with like parents or anything around. He just sort of learned to adapt by himself. He's very sort of rough and stubborn, a lot to himself a lot. So he's always doing everything for him, never for anyone else. And that changes when he comes across this unconscious female woman, which it's very rare to find female people at this time. So he suddenly had a sudden change in heart and decided to help out and help this random female. He doesn't really know why yet or why he's doing it, especially as his resources are so limited. So the main goal is to survive. So a lot of that is, because a lot of resources are so scarce now, it's very hard for him to do that alone. So now he's taken help this female out. He's going to be even more limited to what he can do to survive. I've got a lot of inspiration from many things, such as Mad Max, as that's where the whole limited resources come from. Book of Eli, is he's alone for the very start of the film, and he's got limited resources. Then comes across a female companion that he has to help take along the road, who's willing to help him out in return. Predators is that's the whole idea of the antagonist in it, who's actually sort of behind them, hunting them without you knowing for most of it, until the end when they reveal themselves. And then Arrow, I've got inspiration from the woodland area that he is where he gets his origin from, into which a lot of the abilities he adapted was from having to survive in that sort of area. So that's where I've got some of the ideas from that. If you go to the next one. The main obstacle will be the antagonist towards the end that comes along to basically kill both the two protagonists, which is the only reason he's doing it is for the same reason anyone else kills people now in this time, is to try and get as much resources as possible, as it's so scarce and limited. So there's no sort of set laws or anything anymore. Everything's just gone wrong. So most people are just out for blood, really. He's sort of going to have, similar to the character from Mad Max, a lot of sort of scars and maybe like some sort of deformity towards him, just as a way to reinforce the idea that he is the antagonist, and he's got some sort of almost twisted part about him that like helps to get the point across that he's not normal and he's really dark and not a nice person. The main theme of my film will be the helping people around you. So obviously at the start of it, he comes across this random person. He has the option just to kill them there and then, just take what they've got, or to help them out. So he decides to help them out. And I've got that sort of inspiration from Mad Max again, where he, at the start of it, just uses the woman that trying to escape, and he's sort of using them as a way to get away from the people that had him captive. But he then decides he has a change in heart and helps them out, and helps them to defeat the people coming after them. From Conan the Barbarian, he gets stuck with the woman, and he just goes to get rid of her, and then finds out the truth that she's part of some spiritual thing that's going to cause like this Dark Lord to rise again, and he then decides to help her out and stop that from happening. Bright, he gets stuck with a random orc guy that actually got him shot and almost ruined his career and almost got him killed, so he then changed, and then he originally didn't like him, wanted him off his team, wanted to work alone, he then had a change in heart when he turns out he actually got some other officers planned to sort of a plot against him and were going to kill them, both of them, into which the Orc then helped him out and they both survived. And Incredibles, where Syndrome was actually always, throughout the start of it, is always coming across trying to be Mr. Incredible's sidekick. He declines him and next thing you know he's a villain. So that's everything.